We welcome to the program now Haley Fisackerly, President and CEO of Entergy Mississippi. Thanks for coming in, Haley.
Thank you, Gerard. Appreciate being here today.
Well, it doesn't get enough attention, but we wanted you to come in and talk about this recent announcement of Amazon Web Services coming to Madison County, Mississippi. Massive investment, historic, largest single corporate CapEx investment in the history of the state. And it's not lost on me just how critical Entergy's commitment and willingness to step up and accommodate what is going to be a significant amount of power to operate these big hyperscale data centers. I know you guys have been working on this, your team, for a while. A lot of work in the background.
Yes, we're really excited about this. Very proud of our economic development team under Ed Gardner, who helped develop this strategy.
Sure did.
A few years ago, and introduced us to AWS when we started the conversation with them just over 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And learning about their business. And what I'm excited about is just not the capital investment, but Gerard, you can remember 20-something years ago when we were all trying to get auto industry here. And look what that has done to us. And this is the new world. This is the new industry, if you will, if you call it that, the digital technology. I mean, so it's not the investment that it's bringing, but it's bringing new jobs, new opportunities for our people in Mississippi, and they're going to be a long-term partner. And so a lot of great stories out of this, how it happened, teamwork. Really proud of Madison County for stepping up and developing a site and doing the efforts we did there in the state of Mississippi, moving quickly and confidentially in a way where we could land this because it was very competitive, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. And so it's a great point. This essentially places us in a brand new industry on this scale. You'd have to say it's a new industry that we didn't have, just like we didn't have the auto industry 20 years ago. That's
right. We kid around in the office saying we just kicked off the Sweet Tea high-tech corridor here. And
I love it.
That's right. And a lot of people woke up the next day and are kind of shocked at this. Mississippi, a number of years ago when we were starting to develop this strategy, we were introduced to an expert in the industry, and he quickly was telling us that this couldn't happen in Mississippi, so we cut him out of the team meetings from that point forward.
Good move.
That's right. And we worked with the legislature. We worked with the governor's office to slowly pass various pieces of legislation to remove various hurdles or to create the incentives for these investments. And I'd like to say AWS got to the point where how do you tell Mississippi no?
Yeah.
And speed to market was so important in this. So it's a great story to be told, and I think it demonstrates to the world what Mississippi can do to make things happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. So obviously the energy industry is a highly regulated energy industry, and lots of barriers for sure to everything from provisioning to production to consumption to billing. I mean, it's the full gambit. It is regulated. It's a regulated utility industry. How are we better at that? Because I do think that your point about speed of market, I don't think we could have achieved that without having some degree of a reasonable, let's say, regulatory environment. Is that kind of how you see it, Haley?
That's right. I mean, we are a very heavily regulated industry. We're very involved in economic development. And so we had to move in a way, and the legislation that was passed not only created incentives for AWS, but it also allowed us to move more quickly. We are regulated by the Mississippi Public Service Commission.
Right.
They were very involved in the process. How we could accelerate the investments we would make would take anywhere from 18 months to 3 years to go through the regulatory process.
Okay.
And that would have killed this project, and we had to speed to market. So how do you ensure that we're still following the requirements of the Public Service Commission of regulation? And we've done that. So the oversight and the rate approvals and stuff are still in place. This allowed us to move quickly enough so we can meet their time frame. also we're having to purchase a lot of long lead materials. The transformers that will have to go into these substations are massive. They take 16 months to build.
Wow.
And so we had already entered into reimbursement agreements with AWS to start buying those equipment. So had this deal gone south, we were protected there, but we had to move forward. As you know personally, they already began site work.
Yeah, same arrangement, by the way.
That's right. Same arrangement.
Same arrangement.
They were on the hook
agreements.
for all the costs. They already built the first pad for our first substation.
Yeah.
So they are a very aggressive company, and as we've seen everywhere they go, they tend to underpromise and overperform.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that. But it did accelerate that regulatory process.
Okay.
The other thing we bring, too, I think, as you know well, is that we have the ability to grow here.
Yeah.
Plenty of land. Affordable land compared to where else they're looking. They don't have the density props, and they can come in there. And then they saw a utility. Our sister companies, for example, in Louisiana and Texas, serve the largest industrial sector in the world, along Lake Charles and all those different areas of there. So we're familiar with large projects. We know how to build for them, and we brought those teams in that worked with this. That we're going to have to make transmission investments to serve the load. 4 substations will have to be built at these 2 sites. We will have to add generating capacity. What we're seeing today, unlike I thought I'd ever see today, customers are wanting renewable or clean energy. So
Sure.
we're delivering solar facilities that they're paying the cost of. We'll be investing in a new clean technology generating facility that will be a part of this mix as well. And so it's a great opportunity to invest, bring new investments, modern investments that will improve the reliability of the grid. But also, kind of what we're talking about earlier is that when you bring this type of volume in, it brings you those economy of scales that spread the cost across the kilowatt hour sold that benefit everybody.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for us all.
So, Haley, I've seen some folks out there kind of in the public square who've expressed concerns that this project is going to consume so much power that it may leave those that are your existing customers powerless, that it would actually cause a problem for them to get the power they need for their homes and to run their businesses. How do you respond to that?
I can assure you that's the last thing we're going to allow to happen. And that's why we're having to make these investments for the ability to serve. They will be served directly from the transmission system. So customers, or most residential homes and small business are served from the distribution system. So we'll be investing into the transmission system, building their own substations. They're that large of a user. And so that helps isolate it now, and then we'll have to build the additional capacity. The other thing I think is important to point out that helped make our area attractive to them, if you remember about a decade ago, Entergy in the western part of the state joined MISO, the Mid-Continent Independent System Operator. We moved into a power market that includes 15 states. So our generation has to compete in there. We have access to additional power through that market. So, and that also keeps our rates down. So we're below the national average by 25%. So that made us very attractive for investment because they are large energy users, and grid reliability is important to them.
And also where Amazon has constructed a number of data centers, such as in the Herndon, Virginia area. There's a concentration of data centers, not just Amazon, but other companies. And in that corridor between Austin and San Antonio, which is where I think they have the most, if I'm not mistaken, that hasn't been the case. I mean, the power producers have been able to accommodate that. They've all made massive investments to ensure that as well.
That's right. They have, and they met it there. But what you also saw in those areas, all of a sudden there was a huge concentration.
That's right.
And so their ability to grow even further became a challenge.
Yeah.
So they needed to find other areas to go to build additional data centers and zones where they could create there. And we have an opportunity for maybe even more growth there.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And maybe diversification too, because other industries, businesses are going to be getting this attention too, thinking, hey, this may be a state we need to go talk to.
Amazon, like most large companies, is highly focused on sustainability. Was this part of the discussions, and were you able to meet their requirements there?
Yes, we started seeing this a few years ago, and in 2021 we announced a plan called EDGE, Economic Development and Green Energy, where we started building solar facilities and planning. So we, as you know, the Sunflower facility we dedicated just over a year ago. And we have line of sight of about another 650 megawatts of solar we'll be bringing online to help serve this project too.
Wow.
And discussions on more.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And so you've got kind of a diverse footprint of just sources.
That's right. Well, our nuclear keeps us very clean. Don't forget about Grand Gulf, and you have the license extension on that. That takes us to 2044, and we're already talking about extending that life. We'll be bringing new gas turbines on that use the latest technology of clean technology that help them make that available.
Appreciate you coming in, Haley. Congratulations, and thanks for the efforts of you and your entire team. Fantastic job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming right back with more in the Element Well studio.